Here we are in LA for the launch of the 2018 Harley-Davidson Softail range. So not only do we have 8 new models, they're all based on the new Softail chassis with the Milwaukee 8 engine. So here we have the new Softail Street Bob, the Softail Lowrider, and the Softail Fat Bob, which all still retain that diner look of last year. I think this one in particular, it's very clever the way that they've retained the diner lowrider look on this new Softail. So here we've got the more traditional looking heritage Softail, the Delux and the Softail Slim. Still resemble what we're used to, but with all of the, the new modern technology. We've got some real heavy customization and changes on the Softail Fat Boy and the Softail Breakout. So we've got 8 very different bikes, each with their own personality. We want to find out what really makes these bikes different. What is that chassis that last year's did? So we're now going to go and meet Paul and Pete from the motor company, and they're going to explain a little bit more on their technical side of things about the chassis and the suspension setup. We've got Pete Duval and we've got Paul James. What makes this so special compared to what we've had in previous years?
This is an all-new Softail chassis, all new for 2018, and it's 65% more rigid. That frame rigidity, which is built into the backbone of the frame, helps keep those wheels in line. When you're in a corner, you're hitting a bump mid-corner, or you're actuating a turn in, it really makes the bike feel stable and more responsive. It's also significantly lighter.
And is that the makeup of the steel, or is that because it's far less components?
It's really the design and the engineering that went into it, the metal and the strength in the right places, and remove metal from places where it didn't need to be. So it's 15 to 20% lighter, despite being significantly stiffer. And then that works in conjunction with the rest of the chassis and the suspension.
There are 2 different types of swing arms. So we have the Fat Boy and the Breakout, big 240 tire, wide rear bike. So they have a slightly wider swing arm, and then the rest of the bikes have a slightly narrower swing arm. The shock is a monoshock mounted on the backbone. It's an internal 3-piston shock, so it's a nitrogen gas charged chamber separated from the oil by a floating piston, so you don't have any mixing of the gas and the oil, and that improves damping. It makes damping more consistent throughout use. New on the Touring last year was the dual bending valve technology in the forks, and now we have that on all Softails aside from Fat Bob. So Fat Bob has the inverted front end, and that is a cartridge damped front end, inverted. All of the other bikes have this conventional 49mm fork. Working with the rest of the package, it's just way more refined, a lot more fun to ride, and we can't wait for people to go out and ride them.
So with the reduced weight and the increased power, we're going to get a better weight to power ratio.
Yeah, the Milwaukee 107 is about 10% more power than the twin cam high output 103. So improved power, reduced weight. Most models have lost around 30 pounds. Some a little bit less. The Dyna models are a little bit less than that, but still that power to weight ratio is really improved. Because you have different personalities in these motorcycles. They really do feel different when you ride them. So the Heritage Classic, for example, obviously feels very different than the Fat Bob, as does the Fat Boy and the Breakout. They all have their own personality, but served by one basic architecture. By having the variation in the steering head angles, the fork angles, the wide and narrow rear end, you really have the ability to have a different feel for each motorcycle, yet the bones of the architecture is there for all the bikes. So that increased rigidity, lighter weight, more response, better ride quality, better ride control.
Like you were saying to me this morning on the Delux, that a beautiful classic traditional looking bike, you can ride that real hard.
Yeah, because underneath it, all this architecture is here. So despite it having white walls and wire wheels and chrome and bling, actually it bends into a corner very nicely. The ride quality is very good, the response is very good. It's really a fun motorcycle to ride. Plus we added more lean angle, which gives you more cornering clearance and ability to just have more fun when you're riding. The whole bike, just more fun to ride.
That's awesome.
It's really solid. It's such a solid.
It's the most rigid and solid chassis.
When Softail first came out in 1984, Softail chassis, this new generation Softail platform is just amazing. The difference between then and now is just light years. The new Softail is going to be a whole new generation of machine from Harley-Davidson. You've got everything from heritage Softail, Breakout, the revamped Street Bob, Fat Bob, looks like something out of Mad Max, unbelievable. It's going to attract a load newer riders as well, but for existing riders, you get off your current Heritage Softail Classic and get on a new Softail Heritage Classic, the difference will be unbelievable. And you will notice it instantly. The machine is lighter, it's more balanced, the performance is better, the chassis feels different, the brakes, the way you sit in it. Not only that, the styling for the Heritage Softail Classic is very reminiscent of the 49 FL. Designers actually had a 1949 FL in their design studio while they were creating the new bike. That was their point of reference. So this is all new, but it's very much Harley-Davidson.